David. Nice to see you again. Injuries, we'll start out. Injuries, fitness news-wise. Can I ask you about Josh and Ornell? Obviously came off the other night.
Yeah, Ornell had a scan yesterday. Luckily, a clear scan. So it looks like that he is ready for the game and available. Josh didn't train today. We have to see how he looks tomorrow. This will be for sure a late call. Anyone else came through the game healthy, no further issues, and it looks like that we, if both are available, can have the same squad available.
Can I just clarify with those two, what is the issue there with those two players who came off midweek?
Yeah, Ornell felt his hamstring in the first half. They assessed him in halftime, and we had the discussion: can he continue or should he go off in halftime, not to lose a slot for substitutions? And the medical department and he decided he likes to try it. And obviously, Josh already limped in the first half, and obviously this was the same. Then, do we like to sub him now, or do we like to continue? And he and the medical department decided, no, let's try it again. But obviously, he limped further, and then it was clear that we take both off quite early in the second half.
So with Josh, I mean, that's nothing related to obviously the previous ankle issue. Is that just is there a muscular thing now, or get a kick on it?
No, I think it's a combination. Obviously, yes, most of them relates still to his ankle, but not to the joints. I think your whole static changed after you have such a surgery, and obviously fitness-wise and with more load, you have to be quite careful with him, and this is why we've done everything, and he has done everything what he could to protect him as good as he can, but to build as well. Now it's the first time where hopefully he can be involved in 3 games in a week. This was not the case in recent weeks, as you know. Then we normally always recovered him for 1 game. We will see how he looks tomorrow, and then we go from there.
I mean, it's obviously hypothetical, but would he need to train tomorrow for him to be in contention Saturday, do you think?
Yes. Normally, to be fair, I can't remember that I've once have taken a player in the past when he has not trained on match day -1. I think if I think back, I think it was never the case.
Just follow up on Shane Duffy. Has he had that follow-up scan yet? If so, how are we looking?
Yeah, so I think it looks like that he will be out for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. This is how it looks at the minute.
Just on Johnny Rowe, obviously we kind of went in other areas post-match the other night, didn't we? But we'll probably get into that. But no surgery with him?
No, this is confirmed. He does not need a surgery. As I said, it's more about months than weeks where we speak about. But the truth is that luckily he will not need a surgery. Obviously, it's a serious hamstring injury, and then it's quite difficult to give a clear time frame because it can change, and 2 weeks can be massive in this period then as well. This is why I think we'll know more after 4 to 6 weeks.
It goes without saying, from your point of view, from the team's point of view, it's a blow, but just on a personal level for that lad, because he's had such a fantastic breakthrough season, and he's had 1 or 2 injuries he's had to contend with, and just when it's getting to that point of the season where you feel he could be a big player for you, unfortunately it's the nature of the game. I mean, he obviously had last season injury interrupted. On a personal level for him, is this still part of, disappointed though he is, I'm sure at the moment, it's just part and parcel, you've got to come through it, come back stronger? Yeah,
but to be totally honest, I think it's not right to say he could be a big player for us. He is a big player from us, and he has done fantastic so far. He is still super young, got experiences now with injuries as well, and how to come back after injuries, how to deal with situations like this, to make sure that you work maybe on the one or other weakness which you have where you can't work when you are in the day-to-day business as well. And he has done this fantastic in the past, and I'm super confident that he will come back as strong as he was, with still a lot of space for improvement. Yes, it's a blow, obviously, for us as for him, but we will see. how many games we can use him till the end of the season. We will see how long the season will continue. Now it's the fully focus for him and our medical department to get him back as quick as possible, and that he recovers as good as he can.
And in the here and now, because you obviously now know which players you've got to work with in the intervening period until he is back. Farzi gets his goal midweek, or at least it was credited to him, that fourth goal, and Onel, very good assist for Ashley Barnes, and that's what you'll want now from these guys who are vying maybe to step in without Johnny Rowe. They come in, and then when they get a chance, they impact the game.
Absolutely. I said this before, we have to be careful not to have a squad which is too thin, because injuries are part of the game, unfortunately. But what is the truth is that at the minute, every player, starter or impact player from the bench, plays his part, has positive energy, really believes in what he's doing. And as you mentioned now, Farsi with the goal and Onel with his assist as well. Borja is now consistently in recent weeks on a very, very good level, performance-wise, with goals as well. We have there are players who play at the minute on a very good level consistently and play their part. They have to push further each other. But obviously, we are not massive on players in the last weeks or months of the season. This is the truth as well.
Just on it briefly there, I mean, obviously it was the big talking point after the game, probably overshadowed the game, to be fair, in many people's eyes. Did you leave the ground feeling better for putting that out there? Getting off the chest?
No, listen, I think at the end of the day, I don't like to pay now further attention on it. I think I made my point clear. Maybe the words which I've used were a little bit too strong, but the general message is exactly what I want to deliver. And this is for me now the end of the story, because what is now in front of us with the next game, especially Cardiff, is so big, is so massive, is so important that we make sure that we are all together now focused on it for 100%, with all the energy, all the positive energy which we have, with all the positive mindset on the grass and obviously in the stands as well. What I wanted to say, because now, come on, we have 14 games to go. The players have done, from my point of view, unbelievable in recent weeks to come closer and tighter to the interesting spots, but we are far away from done. And now it's a moment where we all together have to make sure, we are excited about it. We go for it. We together go for it. And this is why I now really like to get the focus from everyone, to be fair, to Saturday. Cardiff now at home, another home game. Our home performances and the recent results are good, but we are not done. We are now on the moment where we have to push each other positive in the right direction, and this is exactly what I expect from us on the grass. And obviously then, like I always said, the feedback has to come positive from the stands as well.
And as you say, I mean, in terms of what those fans who've turned up there in the recent couple of months have seen from your team, is those performances and is those results as well. So basically just rowing behind them, as you say, we're all chasing the same goal ultimately, and that's to get in the playoffs.
This is the message, yes.
You mentioned the players, though. I mean, I will just one, and then we'll move off this. But was part of your thinking there that, look, you need, if they're coming for you and the criticisms at you, that's one thing. You're a head coach, you know that comes with the territory. But those players, protect those players. They're the key part of this. They need to cross that white line, go out there and feel that they're in an environment where they can give their best.
Yeah, and listen. To be fair, I'm an honest guy. I say what I think. If I got love for it or not, to be fair, for me it's important to say the truth. And I will always protect my players, my team, my backroom staff, my football club, and even the huge amount of supporters with this positive mindset as well. And this is what I've done. And again, now I like to put this to bed and like to look forward that we really go all together and go for it and try to have another successful Saturday against Cardiff.
And moving forward, very big goal for Gabby Zara, I think in midweek, first one since early November. Has he been struggling a little bit, or are we really judging him against that really high level that he was hitting in terms of goals and assists in recent weeks?
Listen, I think on one side, no one should underestimate. He played, I think, more or less every game from the first to the final minute, and he has put on numbers so far. I don't know them exactly, to be fair, but I know in terms of assists and goals, he is quite up at the top in our team for sure, and he works very, very hard. And obviously, performance-wise, some are average, some above average, but he never is really below par. This is the truth as well. Luckily, we have with Kenny and Nacho at the minute, and don't forget Liam, who is doing fantastic in training and pushing the other guys as well. Guys who can't wait to support, who can't wait to get their minutes as well. And for him, I think personally, it was so important to have a goal again, because nothing is better for a football player than this goal-scoring feeling, and this will give him a further push for sure.
And it was an excellent goal, both Barnsley's hold-up play and then the ball, first time perfectly top, but the finish as well, and that's just underlines again the quality that man possesses in the final third in those areas at this level is probably as good as any midfielder attacking-wise. Yeah,
he is an outstanding player, not only for us in this division. I think this is... no one has had a doubt about this. This is crystal clear, and I think all the game goals, to be fair, even the penalty, which was lucky, but all the other goals which we scored were top class. So you felt the fourth goal, you felt how hungry and greedy and positive this team was when Jack Stacey in the counter press made this tackle, and then obviously Sid passed wide to check again, and then the cross, Fazi on the near post, and the first goal as well, where Borja in the counter press on the opposite side was so hungry, greedy, aggressive, with a positive mindset, won the ball. We changed the side, and then Onel took his opponent on and against one, and Barnsley was at the back stick and put it behind the line. So this were two super energetic, positive mindset goals which they've scored. And obviously, Gabi's one was a fantastic finish as well. So the guys are doing well, have done well in this game, with the one or other setback, which you always have in game. Come on, take it, stay positive, and keep pushing what they've done. Offensively and especially defensively, I think we looked sharp in recent games, especially in the last one, and this for sure will be the key on Saturday again.
Just a footnote before I sort of ask you about Cardiff. I mean, you mentioned him there, Liam Gibbs. It probably after last season, put a lot of minutes, a lot of game time. It hasn't quite been the same this time around. Has that been difficult for him? Is he one you've had to just sit down and have chats with throughout this season? We know he's a very young player, and this is part of the learning curve, but I guess off the back of last season, he probably came into the pre-season thinking he'd kick on again, and it hasn't quite happened for him.
Yeah, and we had conversations, honest conversations about it as well. So he had his dip. This is the truth as well in training, and maybe the one or other performance when we were able to start, we're not on the level where he wanted to have, and me maybe as well. But in recent weeks in training, and to be fair, if you see what he has done when he came on Tuesday, this 15 minutes, the shift which he put in, his link-up play was smart to concede a yellow for the team as well in the right moment. So he makes steps in the right direction. And yes, it's now a more difficult period for him, but in general, when he looks back on his career, and he will have a top career in 15 years, he knows that this period helped him to get to the player where he will be.
Cardiff, obviously, this weekend. Before we get into this Saturday's game, just going back to that previous one, looking back now, did that feel like because the results since have really kicked on, you really had that consistent seam of wins, did that feel like maybe a bit of a watershed game, particularly the end of it, because going into the late stages of that game, it wasn't looking it was going to turn out as it did.
What's the meaning of watershed game?
Watershed, because the sort of 8, was it 7? Don't want to remind you of the results, but it was 7 defeats in 9 going up into that period, and then post then you've really kicked on in terms of results and turned it around, that positivity.
Yeah, I think that we are on a totally different run now rather than in end October or November. I don't know, in autumn at this moment. So it's quite 2 or 3 months ago. It's clear and obvious, I think, from the points, but this is very important to me, from the performances as well. And to be fair, from the squad availability. Great that the players now consistently do their job on this high level. Hopefully we can push them to the final step for this week on Saturday again, because obviously it's for everyone a quite heavy period, heavy week again. But I'm super confident, and the players are, that they will have the right freshness in their legs and their mind, and to be there. And if they then start to get a little bit maybe exhausted or tired, then hopefully we get the energy from the stands to push them for the final yards, for the hard yards then as well.
What have you made of them sort of from a distance? Obviously they played West Brom midweek, didn't quite get the result, but I'm sure I don't know whether Narcissus was there or not, but what do you make of them going into this weekend?
Yeah, obviously we know they are not on the best run at the minute. They change the shape now. What you do sometimes when you don't get the results. I think they were very unlucky to concede very, very early, and then never it's easy, especially when you use the new shape. But they were in the game, and it's a super competitive team. Don't get me wrong. This is a very difficult task. So hopefully no one thinks this will be easy because of whatever they've done maybe in recent weeks. They have very good individuals. They can play football, but they can go direct. It's, I think, one of the best teams in offensive set plays together with Huddersfield. So we have a proper job in front of us where we have to be totally on it. And this is why, for me, it's so extremely important that we all together now really look forward to this one, because this is a big game for us, and for this all the focus has to be on it, all the positive energy, all the mindset has to be right, that we like to attack again, because it's the first one of the last 14, and we like to make this to something exciting, and this is why it's so important on Saturday.
Thanks, David. Good luck.
Thank you.
Anything, Andy? Yeah, just a couple, David. Just going back to what Paddy was saying, so just one question on Tuesday night. I mean, at Huddersfield, you achieved incredible things. You think of that night at Chelsea, that night at Sheffield Wednesday, and there was so much unity between you and the fans. But why is that so important, and why does that make the players' job much easier when you've got everyone pulling in the same direction?
Look, listen, the answer is quite easy. If we play away from home, and we feel that in the stadium the atmosphere turned into some negativity, then you really have the feeling as a away team, okay, we are on the wrong side, we are on the right side, so we are close, it's not far away, and then we got them. And this is exactly what you always have to try to avoid, first of all, with your performances. And I think, again, the performance on Tuesday, where especially the first 35 minutes, something of the best of the season, and afterwards with a little bit setback, which is normal. I think it was okay. And don't forget, we have beaten Watford 4-2, and I don't know how many games unbeaten now at home. But this is exactly what you as a away team always like to have, and what you as a home team always have to try to avoid.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you've been on a brilliant run at home in particular. Do you feel like you and your players deserve a bit more credit?
Listen, I think I said this now. Put it to bed. Let's look forward. Don't do the past. We all together have now the chance to show that we are better than what we've shown. Come on, go.
Yeah. And one final question. I mean, you're going to be changing the shirt sponsor this weekend for a brilliant cause. How important is it to back causes like that?
Yeah, obviously everything what we can support, which has a good positive mindset, a good idea, we will do, and I'm very happy that our football club is doing this.
Okay, thanks, David. Thank you.
Thanks, David.